Hi, and good morning to all of us. Yeah, it's definitely a bit chilly here today in Nairobi. So I'm joining you from Nairobi, Kenya, here in Westlands. Welcome to today's class. I hope you're having a bright morning. You have your cup of coffee with you or tea, and you are joining this session. So let us know where you are joining us from. Are you joining us from Nakuru? Kisumu, or which town are you joining us from in the comment section. I'll be able to see that. Let us also know your business name or what you do as a business person. My name is Winnie. My moderator is Caroline, and today's session has been brought to you courtesy of Africa 118 in partnership with Google Digital Skills for Africa. So I see we have. Esther, good morning, Esther Nina. What is your business name? I see Bonnie. Good morning, Bonnie. Are you joining from Nairobi for Ndege Poultry Farm? Good to see you, Bonnie. I hope this session will be as interactive as it can get. So our topic of discussion today is Google Workspace. So we are going to learn how can collaborate in the different tools that are found in the Google Workspace. So just to get us going, if you have a comment, a question, you can use the chat box section and I'll be able to sample um, some of your feedback. All right, so I can see we have came into farm. Good to see you and welcome into today's class. So we're going to look at one, just to learn what Google Workspace really is. And secondly, we are going to look at how can we boost communication across our businesses using the various tools of Google Workspace. And lastly, how can we leverage the tools in Google Workspace to even increase collaboration. So, all right. So, but before we get going, this is just to let you know that we have a free boot camp available from Google. So, if you are a small business and you think this is time for you to scale, you can sign up for the Google Hustle Academy. This is a 1 week long boot camp, and you're going to learn the various aspects of businesses. So sign up after this class and then you'll be able to be contacted and given a way forward on how to participate in the bootcamp. So my moderator will be able to share that in the comment section at the link for the Google Hustle Academy. So just to get us going, so what tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your business? Let me see. Currently, I've worked with Slack personally. I send you guys emails, so that's how I collaborate and communicate. So, what about you? Let me see some two comments in before we proceed. Which tools have you adopted for your business for communication? I can see we have Aaron. Welcome, Aaron. I can see we have. Engineer, welcome engineer is today's class. You are a building and civil water and sanitation construction firm based in Mombasa. So welcome into today's class. All right. So home shop, I can see we have home shop, we have Carol, we have Aaron. So which tool do you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your businesses? Let me see some of your responses. Uh-huh. So, all right. So talk to my moderator, engage us in the comment section. Let me just hear from you. What do you currently use to communicate, even as we proceed in today's class? So good to see you, Aaron Madusoi. Once again, welcome into today's class, even as we learn more about Google Workspace. All right. So just to get us started on the agenda of today's class, which is just discovering the capabilities of what Google Workspace is. So Do you currently use Google Workspace? And if so, how do you use it? So, have you ever used Google Workspace? Do you know what it is? And if you do, how are you currently using it as a business? So, I'll give us 30 seconds to just share with me how do you use your workspace so far. If you also do not have an idea of what it is, you are still in the right class. So I'll be able to we'll be able to learn. Yeah, we are here to learn really. So I can see Aaron Marusei is saying you use Facebook to communicate. All right. I can see somebody, Bonnie, is saying you use GBP. So that's how you use to collaborate. Rosabella, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe you could rewrite it again, just for me to understand or get clarity on it. All right, so let us proceed with the class. So, really, what is Google Workspace? So, Google Workspace was previously known as G Suite. So, it's an example of a digital workspace. So generally, digital workspace enables people to work online. So you can be able to, you went for a meeting in Kisumu, your business is in Nairobi, you can still be able to work from Kisumu, and while the rest of your team is working from Nairobi. So Google Workspace in particular makes use of cloud product, and also has productivity and collaboration tools. So we are going to learn more in this class. What are some of the productivity and collaboration tools that Google Workspace has, and how can we use that as a business? So Google Workspace generally allows you to create documents, create spreadsheets, you can create slides, and there's so much more. You can also store data on it. Also store your files, store information, and it's global, so anybody can now be able to use it as long as you have access to the internet. So just some of the tools that are included in the Google Workspace. So these are just some of the tools that are available. So in clockwise, we can see we have documents, we have docs, we have Gmail. I know majority of us are familiar with Gmail. We have a calendar, we have Drive, we have chats, we have Jamboard. All right, yeah, we have slides, forms. So there's so many tools that are available within the Google Workspace. So we'll be able to look at each individual tool and how we can maximize its usage in our businesses. So just to get us started, I will begin with uh, generally what Workspace can do for us. And as we said, one of the core functionality of Google Workspace is you can create documents, you can create presentations, you can record. For example, if you have a meeting and you're using Google Meet, you can be able to record, you can be able to have data, analyze the data. You can be able to brainstorm ideas using tools such as the Jamboard. You can be able to brainstorm on ideas. You can be able to store files and generally just communicate globally. So let's just take a minute to focus on the first point, which is creating documents and presentation. What are some of those workspace tools that we can use to create documents and presentations? And just to get us started is Google Docs. So Google Docs is word processing for teams. So let's say you have a team of 5, you have a team of 3, you have a team of 30, you have a team of 100. Yes, so you can create and edit text documents directly from your browser. You do not need a particular software to do that. And several people can be working on that document at the same time. And remember, the changes that are done on that document are auto-saved. So really, we can have probably 2 people working on the same document, 3 people working on the same document, and the changes will be automatically saved on the cloud. So you can be able to work from Kenya, the other one is probably in Uganda. So anywhere in the world, as long as you have access to the internet. Remember, you can include things such as comments. So, like for example, I can be able to put a comment. Let's say this had an error. I can put a comment and whoever and tag someone, and they'll be also able to come and edit it. So that is just one way you can use Google Docs. So shifting our focus to Google Slides. So Google Slides, you can create presentations. So if you've worked, for example, with the Microsoft Office, for example, you see you are able to create presentations with PowerPoints. So yes, with the Google Slides, you are also able to create and edit your presentations. And like I said, several people can be working on it at the same time, and it will update to the latest version. So all of you can be working on a single presentation online, let's say with your business partner, with your team, or probably some external contacts. Yes. And also you get to give permissions, such as who can edit, who only has access to view it, and who can add comments. Probably you want a team member to review it and but not to edit it, to just give comments. You can be able to just give access to them giving comments alone. And also these are a bit more user friendly than the general PowerPoint that we are used to, because you see several people can be working on the same presentation at the same time. All right, so moving on, we have Google Forms. So remember when we were asking you to share with us content for your website, we did share with you a Google form. So that is an example of a Google form. So you can create surveys, you can collect data the same way we are collecting website information for your businesses using the Google Forms. You can custom it. You can create custom forms for surveys or questionnaires. You can gather information and put it, for example, in a spreadsheet. So, like for example, let's say you have one form and you've shared it to 10 people. So most of them, let's say 5 people have responded to that one particular form. You can create a spreadsheet of the information that you have gotten and then be able to work from the spreadsheet. And then we have Google Sheets. So Google Sheets are also collaborative. Generally, all the tools in the workspace are collaborative. Remember, you can also just like the what is it called? So on Google Sheets as well, you can just collaborate in terms of you can give access to edits, for example, who can edit, who can be able to comment, and who can only just view it alone. All right, so you can, let's say, for example, you are planning something, an event, and you're sharing some of the latest revenue figures. So Sheets can help you to be seamless. So I went out to the field, I found the pricing for the products that we were trying to get access to has changed. And you are in Kisumu, for example, you went, let's say, for a meeting. And so I'm here, I'm able to update that, and you can clearly be able to see the information straight away from the documentation. So it's easier, it makes collaborating with your teams easier, and especially also because the changes are automatically saved as you are making them. All right. So some of the benefits that we can get from Workspace is increased collaboration. So we can be able to collaborate within teams, within business partners, or even with people outside the country. It also improves communication, and we can also work smarter. So, like for example, you don't need, for example, you let's say you left your laptop here and probably you went out to have coffee probably with your client, and you are needed to edit something urgently. You don't really need to come to the office. You can be able to do that from wherever you are, so you are able to work smarter. And also remember, there's enhanced security, and we are going to take a look at each of these benefits individually even as we proceed in the class. So just narrowing our direction towards collaboration. So how does Google Workspace increase collaboration? Remember, you can just share a simple URL. You see, when we were sharing the forms for you to share with us information about the website, we just shared a URL with you and we asked you kindly fill the form and we'll be able to get feedback. Similarly, you can be able to just share URL with your team, your business partners, and they'll be able to work on that documentation as long as you granted the access that you want to. Do you want them to edit? Do you want them to give comments? Do you want them to just view? So also teams are able to share ideas on it because, for example, I can be able to tag you on a particular segment to just hear your feedback on that segment, or probably why did you put that a figure there? So I would ask you to comment on it so you can see it. You're able to share ideas. And also you can restrict the editing access. Like I said, you can only allow probably, let's say, you have 5 team members, and let's say this is a documentation for the finance team, for example. So you can say, let's give the finance team edit rights, and then for the rest of the teams, you can only give them view or comment rights. You can be able to also track changes and comment and just work with your colleagues across different projects. So moving on to our second benefit of Google Workspace, which is improving communication. So you can imagine before the advent of the internet, you'd have to make a call or send a letter, and it would take some days. So these days we have email. So email, and particularly Gmail that I'm working with today, is it helps you to communicate seamlessly. You can be able to communicate from anywhere to anyone anywhere in the world. So you just need to send them an email, they'll be able to respond to that. We have the likes of Google Meet. Yes, Google Meet, I know we have several times we have conversations with you on Google Meet about how your business is proceeding, let's say in the program. Yes, we use Google Meet. So Google Meet also improves communication. We have Google Currents, and I won't talk much about that because currently, Google is thinking of phasing that out, so I don't want to talk about it, and it will be no longer accessible in a few months. And lastly, we have Google Chat. So Google Chat is more like instant messaging. So you can be able to just, the same way I share with you a message on WhatsApp, on text, I can be able to just chat with you, send you a message directly on Google Chat. So those are just some of the ways that Google Workspace improves communication. So next up on our list is, how does Google Workspace help us to work smarter? Number one, let's say we can collect data, we can turn the data into insights, and that will help us even in our business decisions. So we can also streamline workflows in processes. For example, have one central system where we have all our documentation being done, all our filing system being done, and giving various access depending on who you want to have access to what. Also, remember, this also prevents threats that can happen, because it gives you security. Yeah, because number one, this is cloud based. So, unless, let's say, one of the people that has access to it distorts the file, really, if you don't have access to the file, there's no way you're going to interfere with it. And also, people can extract files, content, knowledge, really, and you can just work with that seamlessly. So since you can also be collaborate with your teams from wherever they are, you can also have a central system for all your documentation and filing. It really helps to work smart. And last but not least is increasing security. Like I said, Google Workspace is cloud based. So you can use the admin console to centralize your administration. Yes. So I know I've had conversation with a few of us, those who are using the Google Workspace, and you can see that you can be the main admin and then give, let's say, access to the various people who are under you with the aliases, the email aliases. So I'll be talking about that just for us who to understand it further. And also remember, it also protects your documentations and prevent threats because it's cloud based. So really, yeah. And also most importantly, let's say even if your machine goes down and probably this is the machine that you put in your documentation, since your files are online, you just need access online to be able to access them really. Yeah. So, what do you need to create your Google Workspace account? Let me check at the chat section again, see what's happening there. All right. So, hi to Flora. Welcome so much. All right. So, I can see we have Expos International, Moringa Grill. You're joining us from Siaya, Bondo. Welcome so much. All right. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Bonnie. I do agree with Carol that DPP is actually a powerful tool. All right, so I can see Home Shop is saying you just signed up on Google Workspace yesterday, so you're here to learn. Absolutely, I thank you so much for that. And then I can see we have Rosabella. Thank you so much. I can see we have Hezekiah. Hi, Hezekiah. Shout out to you. I hope you're having a fantastic morning and you are learning a lot. So just to get you started on how you create your Google Workspace. So before you even think about having a Google Workspace account, you need a domain. So I'm hoping by now all of us we have our domains with us. So you need a domain because that is what you will input. You can see in step number 4. So number 1, if you want a workspace, you just go to workspace.google.com and you sign up. Remember, we have different categories of, or let's say packages. Let me call them packages. We have different packages of Google Workspace depending on the capacity or capability that you want for your business. So just go to googleworkspace.com and click get started. Then make sure you have your core business details, which is your business name. How many employees do you have? Do you have 5? Do you have 30? Do you have 100? And what's your location? And then add your contact details. So here you're adding your first name, your last name, your email address. Yes, and then choose your domain. Yes, so you need to have a domain because your Google workspace is domain linked. So let's say I can see we have home shop here, for example. So probably his workspace account will be linked to his domain, which is home shop, let's say .co.ke or homeshopgroup.co.ke. Yeah. So that's how you get started, and then you have your username and password. So that is just the basic steps of um, Google Workspace or getting started on Google Workspace. The most important thing is to make sure you have your domain, and then because you can't create a Google Workspace account without having a domain. So next one, so how do you get set up? Like I said, you need to create a business email. It's very important for you to have a business email because it shows, let's say, or people can trust that, yeah, because you have a domain. Let's say you are in, they can see, let's say you have a business and it's Amo Creations. Let's and probably your email is info@amocreations.com or .co.ke or .org, whichever one you have chosen for your organization. So now you will have a master account. So your master account, for example, could be, let's say, info at homeshoplimited.com. So that is the master account, and you have 5 employees or you have 10 employees, and you want each one of them to also have an email that is also domain based. So you have this master account that is info at, let's say, who else? Let me see who else shared their business name again. Okay. Yes. Let me see who else shared with me their business name. Okay, Kitem Company Limited. Yes, Aaron. So you have a workspace, and your master account or the admin account is info at Kitem, let's say kitemcompany.co.ke. But then you have Aaron, you have Caroline, you have Bonnie, you have Rosabella. So all these people are your employees. All of them, you also want them to have a domain-based account. So you can create email aliases. So now, for example, we can have your master is info at, let me get Kimto. Was it Kimto? Let me just get that again. So your master Kitem. So your master is info at kitemcompany.co.ke. Then you can have Aaron at kitemcompany.co.ke. Then have Caroline at kitemcompany.co.ke. And then also have, let's say, Bonnie at kitem. Company.co.ke. So those are aliases that have been attached to your main account. So you can be able to add those team members and users, and then migrate your data and import files. So let's say you've been currently working on let's say just the normal Gmail account, and you want to migrate that into your Workspace account. You can be able to also do that as well. All right, so yeah, so if you've been having the master, you just need to go to the admin console and add the rest of the users. If you're having a bit of trouble in doing that, you could also just talk to your DMS and they'll be able to help you with that. All right, so any questions up to this point before we proceed? Any questions to this point before we proceed? I think I saw a question here. Is this the Google Workspace, the same one that we have signed up with you when we were working on our website? That is a yes and no answer. Yes, so some of us have the Google Workspace and some of us do not. So that's a yes or no answer, Esther. Yes. So some of us were assigned to the Google Workspace, yes, and some of us were not. So just have that communication with your digital marketing specialist, and they'll be able to give you that information. I can see Home Shop is asking how many aliases can you have under the master account. So that is dependent on the package that you have. So I know like if you're under the basic package, let me just display that in a moment. Let me just share that, share my screen, just display the various capabilities. Just a moment. Okay, so let me just stop my presentation for a bit, and then let me display the various packages for Google Workspace. Okay, so you can see here, so these are the various different packages for Google Workspace. So on this business data, you can see you have a 30 GB cloud storage per user. And then you can host up to 100 participants in a video meeting. And then you have up to 30 So if you're using the business charter, you can have up to 30 aliases in your uh, admin account. So depending on the package that you have chosen, that is after they go as they increase from the basic package all the way to the enterprise package. Yes. So the different aliases are determined by the size of your business. That's why when you're signing up, you say the number of employees or how many you are in that business so that they see which package is convenient for you. So for the basic package, you have up to 30 aliases. All right, so proceeding, moving on, let me just also put my presentation back again. So you can keep your questions coming. Once I'll be responding to them even as we move on. So just learning how do we boost communication across the various businesses. So we're going to just run through this bit again. Yes, so which tools currently do you use? And I know we talked about the likes of Gmail, for example. So we have Gmail, we have Google Meet, we have Google Currents, which Google is phasing out, and then we have Google Chat. So just to run through quickly, like I said, yes, you can send files as an attachment on Gmail. You can create groups and mailing lists. So you can actually, let's say you have 20 employees, 5 are on field work, 2 probably are in the finance. Then we have, let's say, 6 of them are in the sales team. So you can create a group for the sales team, create a group for the field guys, create a group. Yes, so the different groups so that when you communicate to a specific group. So you can create a group and a mailing list. Also, yeah, remember it also gives you a professional look, yeah, when you have a domain-based email. And also, uh, Gmail also uses machine learning. Yes, machine learning to just try and keep you safe from spam and malware. And if you're using, for example, the big difference, let's say as a business, while you are using the normal Gmail in the workspace, you see those promotional emails. You will not get them if you're using the workspace. So the spam, the phishing, the malware, it's very hard to get them because Google does not allow them to come through to you if you're using Workspace rather than the normal Gmail account. So you can also remember, you can also migrate your emails. Let's say you have been using Outlook, you've been using Lotus, and you want to migrate that information to your current Workspace account. You can also be able to do that. So now, Google Meet. So Google Meet, yeah, as we know, it helps us to keep us connected because we can communicate with one another from wherever we are. Yeah, so these are video meetings that also have anti-abuse measures just to keep the meetings safe. So remember, Meet is also integrated with Google Workspace, and depending on the package you have, you can be able to record. So for those of us in the basic package, you cannot be able to record your meetings. But if you transition to the other packages, you can also be able to record your meetings if you need to record them. Then next we have Currents. So Currents basically was meant to try and build a community. So just build a community within your members. And like I said, we won't dwell so much on this because this will be going down anytime from now. So let's move to chat. So chat is more of direct messaging. So how does it help you? So like for example, a team has been working on a project together. Yes. So for example, a home shop told us they are civil water. Yeah, um, engineering firm. So they have been working on this project and they just want to touch base on what's happening or going on. They can use the Google Chat segment to have the communication there. So it's easier. Like for example, you can just rather than go separately and create another WhatsApp group to be communicating, you can just use the Google chat segment to be able to communicate within the teams in that workspace account or group. Let me say so. Yes. So some of the tips to maximize your communication, try as much as possible while you are using the online bit to communicate, try to recreate that in-person communication, to stay organized, create team mailing lists so that if you only want to communicate to, let's say, your people that are in the field, you can only be able to communicate to them. And then you can also be able to create projects or team rooms. All right. So, how do you recreate in-person communication? Remember, some of the cues that we get from in-person communication are usually lost when we transition to online. So, but how do we try to recreate that? So, this one is by scheduling regular teams and check-ins via Google Meets and Hangouts. Try to connect with your colleagues and try to brainstorm ideas. Like for example, you can use the likes of Jamboard to just brainstorm on ideas so that all of you are on just that Jamboard. So anybody can put the idea here. Let's say somebody has a diagram they want to demonstrate, they can put that diagram on that Jamboard, and also you're able to join from your mobile and desktop devices. Yeah, so at least it gives a semblance of that in-person communication. Very, very important to communicate regularly so that your team is not lost out in the virtual world. Another way is stay organized. So, how do you stay organized? Remember, you have, for example, the basic package, you have 30 GB of storage space. So, that's a lot of space. So, you can try to organize your documentation so that they also look neat. Another thing is I wanted to talk about is calendar. Yes. So I know, like last week, I did share with you on email. So I sent a calendar to you guys so that you can be able to participate in the session. So yes, so you can create a calendar invite, let's say for your team or the people you want, for example, to but let's say attend a meeting, attend a training. Yes, so you can schedule things quickly so they'll be able to get that invite and then accept it or decline it. You can also be able to edit. Let's say you had planned that you'll have a meeting at 10 today, but then you realize, oh, 10 today I have to attend a Google Digital Skills training, so I may not be able to participate in that meeting, but I want to reschedule it to 2 o'clock today. So you can be able to go and adjust that in your calendar, and then the people who are participating in that meeting, they'll be able to get notifications that, oh, so the time has now shifted from 10 a.m. up to 2 a.m., 2 p.m. rather. So remember I said you can create a mailing lists or for the different departments, so that if you just want to talk to this specific department in your business, you only talk to them. If you want to talk to all the people in your department, you don't need to copy all their emails and send and BCC all of them. You just create a group and you send an email to that list, and all of them will be able to get that email. And up to yes, teams, like I said, you can be able, let's say, to create those aliases, let's say sales at, um, uh, let me remember home shop. So sales at home shop, blah, blah, blah. And then we have, let's say, info. Then we have probably inquiry or customer care at home shop at .co.k, blah, blah, blah. Yes. So you can be able to also create such a list or something like that. So that all the people in customer care, you've grouped them under customer care. Now there's people in the sales, you've grouped them under the sales. So you can be able to send status, share resources, just foster a community really. Some tips of maximizing communication. Number 4 is creating rooms or teams in projects. So, how do you do that? I try to encourage your team members to remain connected in the Google Chat section of the email. So you can be able to see, so I think I have reached here, I got stuck here. What do you think about this idea? And let's say such communications. Or, I was able to communicate to this client. This is what they have said. Let us reschedule the meeting to tomorrow. Or the client has said that we can. Have that presentation done tomorrow. So you're able to communicate that in the rooms and just create a sense of community, really. So, any questions at this point before we look at the last bit of this class? A bit of let me just check the chat box again. Google Workspace, yes. All right. Okay, thank you, my moderator. Yeah, thank you, my moderator. I can see you've also responded to Esther. Yes, Esther, remember I said that is a yes and no answer. So there are some of us who are on Yandex, and then we have Google Workspace that we can do collaboration on. All right, so to the that segment of this class where we're going to look at some of the tools to increase collaboration and I think I've asked this question before. Which are some of the tools that you have used to increase collaboration? And I've shared some of them, the likes of Google Chat, for example. All right, so we have the different categories, and one could be either for brainstorming ideas, either you are sharing working files, or you're making suggestions and tagging colleagues, or you're tracking changes. It could be, let's say you want to see what was done between yesterday and today. You could check, let's say, yesterday's version and compare it to today's version and see the differences where they are coming from. So we have a Jamboard. So let me see if I can be able to just share that with you so that you see how a Jamboard looks like. All right, yes. So I'll just display a bit of what a Jamboard looks like. Let me just show that in a moment. Okay. So I'll just stop sharing my screen again in 1 minute and share that again. Okay. So this is an example of a Jamboard. So let's say if I share this link with you people, you'll be able to give your comments here on this Jamboard. So let's say we are trying to brainstorm on some of the ideas. You can be able to draw, like here, you see we have pens here. We have a pen here, so you can be able to draw. Then we have here an eraser. You can go to erase. You can use sticky notes. So you can click here if you don't want to just type out. You can say, yes, thank you so much. Let's see. Okay, let me just use, I like the idea. And save that. Then, all right, so clear, you can also choose the colors that you want on your sticky note, then have that moved there. You can increase it if you want to, resize it the way you want to. Let's say you want to use circles, you just click here on the circles. Probably somebody has put here and you want to circle that. You can just click here on the circles and then you'll be able to, yes, so that's yes, and then increase the size of the circle and then type in whatever information you want to type in. So you have a text box. If you want to use the text box, yes, you can also just also have here the text box. Yes, put in the information that you want. Erases it if you want. And lastly, we have a laser. So probably you want to use a laser. So you want to communicate, you have a plan. Let's say you have a civil engineering plan and you want to communicate to make emphasis. You can use the laser here. I want to emphasize on this point so that everyone gives attention to this point, I can be able to use the laser. So those are just some of the things. Yes, you can clear frames, so you can see I've cleared everything. You can be able to set a background. Let's say you don't like the white background, you'd like to have a black background, you can do that as well. All right, so let me just reset that. Okay, you can see here, you can select a file. So let's say you developed a file somewhere and you want to display it on the Jamboard. So you just click here on the select file, you upload it, or if it's URL or you want to take a picture of it, you can do that, or you want to Google search an image. Let's say we are working on a particular project and you want to search a Google image for that to display, you can do that, or have that from your shared drive or from your Google Photos, whichever ones you want to display, you can be able to use the Jamboard for that. So that's all about Jamboard. Yes, so and then we have Google Drive. I'm sure Google Drive, so you can be able to store files with it, all kinds of files, pictures, videos, whatever kind of file you have, you can be able to have that, and then you can be able to give access to whoever you want to give access to. All right, so let me just put my presentation up again. Let me put my presentation up again. Yes. Okay, so I'll stop sharing my screen again and then share again my slides. Okay, yes. So you can be able to share the documents in real time on your Google Drive, yes. And you can also be able to see, let's say, the last versions of that. Yes, track changes. So you can be able to track changes. When you left it yesterday, who did what edits were made on that. Let's say you had given access to people to contribute and now you want to withdraw that access from them, you can be able to restrict the access again, track changes, approve suggestions that are made. Yes, so that's how you can be able to collaborate. So any more questions at this point before we proceed? So far I've not seen any question, so I'll just um, continue. So remember, we have the free bootcamp available again from Google. Like I said, if you want to learn more, everything from pitching, from um, business strategy, from finances, how do you manage your finances, what are some of the tools that you can be able to do that, you can be able to sign up to the free bootcamp from Google, and then you'll be contacted and given a way forward for that. Yes. All right. So, what are some of the next steps for Google Workspace? If you want to learn more about Google Workspace, remember this is just an introductory session for Google Workspace. There's so much that you can be able to do. You saw there's so many tools in the Google Workspace, and probably you've been wondering how do I maximize on that. You can be able to just learn more on learndigital.withgoogle.com /digital skills or courses. Remember, you can also reach out to your DMS for a question if you're having trouble with a bit of your workspace. And like I said, we are social. Find us on Facebook, on IG, and on Twitter. So on Facebook, we are at Digital Skills for Africa. On Twitter, we are at Digital Skills AF, and on Instagram, we are at Digital Skills AF. All right. I hope my moderator has been able to share that. Yes, I can see you. She's sharing with us the Hustle Academy, and yeah. So at this moment, even as my moderator is sharing with us the links, just give me a feel of how the session has been for you. Let me see 2 comments, 3 comments, and then we can close for the day. Yes. So just share with me, how has the session been for you? What's the feedback? Let me just hear from you. It's good to hear what you people think about the session. Yes. So just share with me your feel of the session, even as my moderator is sharing the links with us. All right, so let's see the comments coming in. Let's see some comments coming in on how the session has been for you. What have you learned so far? Aaron, Bonnie, um, home shop. What how has the session been for you really? Yeah, so just share your comments with me and then a great learning experience. The world is moving too fast. Absolutely, the world is always changing every single day, and we have to keep up with the trends. Otherwise, we are left behind. So thank you, home shop. You're saying very insightful. So thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I've seen just one comment coming in. Okay, looking forward to sign up soon. Absolutely, have that conversation with your DMS. They'll be able to help you with that. So thank you so much. Has been my pleasure hosting you in today's class. Still early in the morning, so we have still have a whole day for us to do other things. So thank you so much. Have a fantastic Friday and keep safe. Remember to wear your mask, sanitize, wash your hands. We can see the trends of corona are going up. So we want to see you here next week. So please keep safe. Thank you so much. I've been your host, Winnie, and my moderator has been Caroline. Bye bye. And thank you.